Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey here on Daybreak. A position on the Shelton City Commission is up for election this year. It's the Shelton City Commissioner of Streets and Public Improvement. There are 4 candidates that are running for election or re-election, and ballots are being mailed out July 11th. The primary is August 1st, and the top 2 vote-getters will move on to the general election. I've sent invitations to the candidates to spend some time with me on Daybreak, and I'm happy to have with me this morning one of those candidates, and it's Jacob Dreifus. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here. How are you, Jeff?
I am well. Thanks for being here. First things first, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Jacob Dreifus, and I am a high school graduate out of Kent, from Kent Meridian High School, and I'm currently a freshman at South Puget Sound Community College in Olympia.
Very nice. So what got you to run for this position, and what are you looking to accomplish if you make it to the commission?
So the reason I decided to run after watching multiple videos of the commission meetings, I just felt like the citizens weren't really listened to very often, and we're being well represented by city leadership. It just didn't seem like there was much of representation for the people. And I just think that's the most important thing. When you're in a leadership position and you have to represent people, you should listen to them. You should make sure that what's important to them is your top priority. So that's really why I decided to run. I also decided to run because I noticed that a lot of the projects going on within the city were either didn't pan out so well, and that a lot of the citizens weren't really happy with them, the way that the tax dollars were being spent. And I think that we need to do more intelligent spending throughout the city.
Let's talk about some of these things. You'd be the Commissioner of Streets and Public Improvement. So
Yes.
First things first, let's give me a letter grade for the streets in Shelton, and if there are specific areas that you think need more attention than others, and then how would you go about prioritizing all this?
I would say downtown right now is looking good from the improvements that they made to Railroad Avenue. I don't think it was necessary improvements right now. I think we could have held off. I would say overall on the streets, C- or a D+.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the reason why is because citizens feel that there's a lot of roads that are being neglected, a lot of things that need to be taken care of and prioritized, and the city commission doesn't seem to want to prioritize them. So they're wanting to go with these different projects like Railroad Avenue to paint the crosswalks brick red. And while it's a great improvement, it looks beautiful, I don't think it was the necessary thing to do right now.
Well, that leads me right into that next question on Railroad, which one street that did get a lot of attention. So in your opinion, from I gather already what you're saying, some of the work worth it, not worth it, and were you involved in any of the visioning projects as they got ready for this?
At that point I wasn't, because when I came into the city, it was kind of in its final. It had already been approved and everything was going on to where they were going to get it done. So I didn't get to have much of a chance to have my voice put into the arena at that point. But I do know from looking on Facebook and talking with different folks that a lot of folks weren't happy. Some of them were. Some of them thinks it looks great. I do think it looks great. And as I said before in a previous interview, I think their heart was in the right place. But we have a lot bigger issues than just painting crosswalks. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to paint crosswalks, don't paint them brick red.
Mm-hmm. Mason County Garbage just took over the garbage service in Shelton. I want to talk to you a little bit about privatization there. Do you think that privatizing these types of services a good thing for the city, and would you look to this for other services?
Yeah, so, in the previous interview that I did with Mason Webb, I said it was kind of too early to tell. But now that I've thought about it more, I'm starting to think it wasn't the right move. Simply because it does lose us a revenue stream for the city. We're losing that revenue. People, now aren't being like they had a city employer that was 68 years old, been doing it for 40 years. He no longer can do it. So I feel bad for people like that they lose that opportunity and the thing that they've loved and done for so long. It's really still hard to say, but it seems like it might not have been the right move.
Back to the potential title in the city commission. Let's go to public improvements now. What do you think, for public improvements wise, could benefit the city? What are you thinking for public improvements, for benefits, and how would you work with the other 2 commissioners to make those things happen?
So one of the thoughts that I had was moving forward with the Shelton Hills Development Project. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yeah. It's been something that's been talked about for over 20 years, but never really gotten anything done with it, never made any progress. If I become city commissioner, I would like to really move forward with that and see what we can do. The streets that have been neglected, they just did a major road improvements project that got approved, and I don't know when they're going to do that. But if that's not done by the time I'm in office, I would like to do that as well.
What are some other ways you think the city can quickly spur economic growth, either by suspending fees, cutting fees, boosting fees? What are some of the ways you think we can get this economy going in the city?
I think that we need to look at either freezing or lowering water and sewage rates. I know there was a freeze put on them last year. I think we could try and lower them at some point in the future. It's a little bit more shaky ground because of the fact that they lowered the building and permit fees, and that did take a $65,000 loss. One of my opponents, Mr. Onisco, thinks that that $65,000 loss doesn't exist. A lot of people say otherwise. So, but one of the things I think we need to do is obviously attract business.
Sure.
And how do you attract business? Well, we have to build a market. And how do we build that market? Only time will tell. But I think that the business fees already are pretty low for folks. I talked to a lot of business owners when I started campaigning downtown, and they told me that the business fees were fine, but they didn't feel like they were being listened to by City Hall. They felt like they would go down to City Hall for these meetings, and the commissioners and staff could have cared less what they had to say. It just got swept under the rug. I don't want our business owners to feel like that. If they come into the city and if they're starting their life here, starting their business here, and bringing revenue for us, I want them to feel like they are truly a part of the city.
Finally, here now, you got someone cornered on the side street or in an elevator. You got the pitch, the 30 seconds, kind of what makes you the best position for this?
I would say I'm the best candidate because I feel like I bring a fresh perspective to the table. I feel like I bring that kind of energy and that think outside the box mentality. I just think it's time for us to elect new leadership, someone that's really going to prioritize the people. Because yes, while the city does matter, while we need to handle things within the city, we also have to think about the people in the city. And also what separates me from Mr. Onisco and Mr. Dorsey is that they have business experience, but I have political experience. So during my senior year living in Kent, I would go down to Kent City Hall and fight different city issues that were important to me and the people. I spoke in favor of getting an emergency shelter built for homeless women and children, and we got that successfully passed through the Kent Land Use and Planning Board, as well as the City Council. And then I also spoke in favor of saving a local park that was going to be torn down and developed on called Pine Tree Park. And after about a 4-month fight, I jumped in around the 3rd month, and we saved that in a 5-2 vote. So I do understand what it takes to successfully go through city issues and make progress on those issues. And I think that matters to people. I also worked for a state representative last year, helped get her reelected to the House of Representatives out of the 33rd District. And I was also, during my junior and senior year, I was a TA and mentor for special needs kids. Which was a fantastic opportunity, and I really enjoyed that. Also, I want to bring this point up, too. My opponent, Commissioner Moore, mentioned in her interview with Mason Webb TV that she was the only candidate in this race that was representing the people and speaking out for the people. That's just flat out not true. Someone who votes against freezing the citizens' water and sewage rates is not a person that speaks out for the people. That's not representing the people. That's fighting against the people. If the people are telling you that you have that their water and sewage rates are too high, and all you want to do is say, well, I don't want to go for this freeze. I'm not going to vote for it. Instead, I think we should do gentle increases. You don't represent the people, and clearly it's time for a change in leadership.
He's running for the City of Shelton Commissioner of Streets and Public Improvement, and it's Jacob Dreifus. Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you very much for having me.